England is a country that is part of the United Kingdom. The country is located on the island of Great Britain, of which it covers roughly 62%, and over 100 smaller adjacent islands. It has land borders with Scotland to the north and Wales to the west, and is otherwise surrounded by the North Sea to the east, the English Channel to the south, the Celtic Sea to the southwest, and the Irish Sea to the west. Continental Europe lies to the southeast, and Ireland to the west. The population was 56,490,048 at the 2021 census. London is both the largest city and the capital. The area now called England was first inhabited by modern humans during the Upper Paleolithic, but takes its name from the Angles, a Germanic tribe who settled during the 5th and 6th centuries. England became a unified state in the 10th century and has had a significant cultural and legal impact on the wider world since the Age of Discovery, which began during the 15th century. The Kingdom of England, which included Wales after 1535, ceased being a separate sovereign state on May 1, 1707, when the Acts of Union put the terms agreed in the Treaty of Union the previous year into effect. This resulted in a political union with the Kingdom of Scotland that created the Kingdom of Great Britain. England is the origin of many well-known worldwide exports, including the English language, the English legal system, which served as the basis for the common law systems of many other countries, association football, and the Church of England. Its parliamentary system of government has been widely adopted by other nations. The Industrial Revolution began in 18th century England, transforming its society into the world's first industrialist nation. England is home to the two oldest universities in the English-speaking world, the University of Oxford, founded in 1096, and the University of Cambridge, founded in 1209. Both universities are ranked among the most prestigious in the world. England's terrain chiefly consists of low hills and plains, especially in the center and south. Upland and mountainous terrain is mostly found in the north and west, including Dartmoor, the Lake District, the Pennines, and the Shropshire Hills. The country's capital is London, the greater metropolitan of which has a population of 14.2 million as of 2021, representing the United Kingdom's largest metropolitan area. England's population of 56.3 million comprises 84% of the population of the United Kingdom, largely concentrated around London, the southeast, and conurbations in the Midlands, the northwest, the northeast, and Yorkshire, which each developed as major industrial regions during the 19th century. The name England is derived from the Old English name Engleland, which means land of the Angles. The Angles were one of the Germanic tribes that settled in Great Britain during the early Middle Ages. The Angles came from the Anglia Peninsula in the Bay of Kiel area, present-day German state of Schleswig-Holstein, of the Baltic Sea. The earliest recorded use of the term, as Engleland, is in the late 9th century translation into Old English of Bede's Ecclesiastical History of the English People. The term was then used to mean the land inhabited by the English, and it included English people in what is now southeast Scotland, but was then part of the English Kingdom of Northumbria. The Anglo-Saxon chronicle recorded that the Domesday Book of 1086 covered the whole of England, meaning the English kingdom, but a few years later the chronicle stated that King Malcolm III went out of Scotland into Lothian in England, thus using it in the more ancient sense. The earliest attested reference to the Angles occurs in the 1st century work by Tacitus, Germania, in which the Latin word Anglia is used. The etymology of the tribal name itself is disputed by scholars. It has been suggested that it derives from the shape of the Angel Peninsula, an angular shape. How and why a term derived from the name of a tribe that was less significant than others, such as the Saxons, came to be used for the entire country is not known, but it seems this is related to the custom of calling the Germanic people in Britain only Saxons or English Saxons to distinguish them from continental Saxons of Old Saxony in Germany. In Scottish Gaelic, the Saxon tribe gave their name to the word for England, Saeson. Similarly, the Welsh name for the English language is Saesneg. A romantic name for England is Loegria, related to the Welsh word for England, Logar, and made popular by its use in Arthurian legend. Albion is also applied to England in a more poetic capacity, though its original meaning is the island of Britain as a whole. The earliest known evidence of human presence in the area now known as England was that of Homo antecessor, dating to approximately 780,000 years ago. The oldest proto-human bones discovered in England date from 500,000 years ago. Modern humans are known to have inhabited the area during the Upper Paleolithic period, though permanent settlements were only established within the last 6,000 years. 24. After the last ice age, only large mammals such as mammoths, bison, and woolly rhinoceros remained. Roughly 11,000 years ago, when the ice sheets began to recede, humans repopulate the area. Genetic research suggests they came from the northern part of the Iberian Peninsula. The sea level was lower than the present day, and Britain was connected by land bridge to Ireland and Eurasia. As the seas rose, it was separated from Ireland 10,000 years ago, and from Eurasia 2 millennia later. The beaker culture arrived around 2500 BC, introducing drinking and food vessels constructed from clay, as well as vessels used as reduction pots to smelt copper ores. It was during this time that major Neolithic monuments such as Stonehenge, Phase 3, and Avebury were constructed. By heating together tin and copper, which were in abundance in the area, the beaker culture people made bronze, and later iron from iron ores. The development of iron smelting allowed the construction of better plows, advancing agriculture, for instance, with Celtic fields, as well as the production of more effective weapons. During the Iron Age, Celtic culture, deriving from the Hallstatt and Latine cultures, arrived from Central Europe. Brythonic was the spoken language during this time. Society was tribal. According to Ptolemy's Geographia, there were around 20 tribes in the area. Like other regions on the edge of the empire, Britain had long enjoyed trading links with the Romans. Julius Caesar of the Roman Republic attempted to invade twice in 55 BC. Although largely unsuccessful, he managed to set up a client king from the Trinovans. The Romans invaded Britain in 43 AD during the reign of Emperor Claudius, subsequently conquering much of Britain. and the area was incorporated into the Roman Empire as Britannia Province. 29. The best known of the native tribes who attempted to resist were the Cativalani led by Caratacus. Later, an uprising led by Boudica, queen of the Iceni, ended with Boudica's suicide following her defeat at the Battle of Watling Street. 30. The author of One Study of Roman Britain suggested that from 43 AD to 84 AD, the Roman invaders killed somewhere between 100,000 and 250,000 people from a population of perhaps 2 million. This era saw Greco-Roman culture prevail with the introduction of Roman law, Roman architecture, aqueducts, sewers, many agricultural items and silk. In the 3rd century, Emperor Septimius Severus died at Eboracum, now York, where Constantine was subsequently proclaimed emperor a century later. There is debate about when Christianity was first introduced. It was no later than the 4th century, probably much earlier. According to Bede, missionaries were sent from Rome by Eleutherius at the request of the chieftain Lucius of Britain in 180 AD, to settle differences as to Eastern and Western ceremonials, which were disturbing the Church. There are traditions linked to Glastonbury claiming an introduction through Joseph of Arimathea, while others claim through Lucius of Britain. By 410, during the decline of the Roman Empire, Britain was left exposed by the end of Roman rule in Britain and the withdrawal of Roman army units to defend the frontiers in continental Europe and partake in civil wars. Celtic Christian monastic and missionary movements flourished. This period of Christianity was influenced by ancient Celtic culture in its sensibilities, polity, practices, and theology. Local congregations were centered in the monastic community, and monastic leaders were more like chieftains, as peers, rather than in the more hierarchical system of the Roman-dominated Church. Roman military withdrawals left Britain open to invasion by pagan, seafaring warriors from northwestern continental Europe, chiefly the Saxons, Angles, Jutes, and Frisians who had long raided the coasts of the Roman province. These groups then began to settle in increasing numbers over the course of the 5th and 6th centuries, initially in the eastern part of the country. Their advance was contained for some decades after the Britons' victory at the Battle of Mount Badon, but subsequently resumed, overrunning the fertile lowlands of Britain and reducing the area under Brittonic control to a series of separate enclaves in the more rugged country to the west by the end of the 6th century. Contemporary texts describing this period are extremely scarce, giving rise to its description as a dark age. Details of the Anglo-Saxon settlement of Britain are consequently subject to considerable disagreement. The emerging consensus is that it occurred on a large scale in the south and east, but was less substantial to the north and west, where Celtic languages continued to be spoken even in areas under Anglo-Saxon control.
It's strange.